Today, we're counting down 15 motorcycle engines so reliable, they're practically immortal. Harley Davidson, Suzuki, and Honda have all built icons, some of which have gone over 300,000 miles without needing a rebuild. Stick around, because number 8 is a total bargain, a complete beast that just won't die. But which engine truly stands the test of time? How many of them are still popular today? Let's find out together. 15. Honda CG125 engine. The Honda CG125 engine is a 124cc air-cooled single-cylinder 4-stroke, and it is indestructible. Introduced in the mid-1970s, Honda built this thing specifically for markets where maintenance is a luxury and spare parts are a fantasy. So what did they do? They took out anything that could break. Seriously, no overhead cam, just a pushrod system. No liquid cooling, just air, gravity, and a bit of hope. And it worked. This thing could take dirt, dust, bad fuel, worse roads, and still keep chugging. It's the bike your uncle learned to ride on, then passed it to your cousin, then your neighbor, then to your neighbor's son, and somehow, it's still running. People have done 100,000 miles on this thing with just oil changes and maybe a tappet adjustment, if the stars align. And if you do manage to kill the engine, congrats. You might have just made history. It's cheap, it's basic, and it doesn't care about your fancy traction control. In short, this isn't just a motorcycle engine. It's a mechanical middle finger to the flashy engines these days that pack up after a little knock. However, there's another engine that's just as stubborn, just as legendary, and just as tough. That's our number 14. 14. Yamaha XT500 engine. Now here's one that doesn't mess around. The Yamaha XT500's engine is a 499 cubic centimeter single-cylinder, 4-stroke thumper, and it's tougher than the cold heart of your ex. This beast came out in the mid-70s, just as people were realizing motorcycles could be fun off the pavement. And Yamaha said, let's give them a monster. It's kickstart only, which means you better have good knees or strong friends. But once it's up and running, this engine will outlast your camping gear, your boots, and probably your knees too. Back in the early days of the Paris-Dakar rally, the XT500 won multiple times. In the midst of sandstorms, heat, and no roads. It's simple, air-cooled, bulletproof design. People have buried these things in mud, ridden them across continents, even let them sit in barns for 15 years, only to kick them once and hear them roaring back to life. And the best part? XT500 engines are still out there, still being flogged by off-road maniacs and collectors who know just how rare this kind of reliability is. So if you ever get your hands on one, don't sell it, marry it, and then pass it down to your grandchildren. But while the XT500 was storming deserts, this next one was redefining everything back home. And it came from a brand most people think only made scooters and smiles. Wait until you hear what this little engine did. 13. Suzuki DR650 engine. Enter the Suzuki DR650 and its 644 cubic centimeter air-cooled single-cylinder engine. This thing has been in production since 1990. And get this, Suzuki hasn't really changed the engine in over 30 years. Why? Because they nailed it on the first try. It's like they asked, what if we made an engine that could be dropped off a cliff, dragged through a swamp, filled with cheap oil, and still run like it just left the factory? No liquid cooling, no fancy electronics, just a pure, unfiltered, thumping beast. And here's the kicker. Adventure riders love abusing this engine. We're talking cross-continental trips, deep jungle trails, dirt roads in the rain, and it just keeps on running. Owners brag about 100,000 plus mile odometers and engines that still start with one button press. No rebuilding, so if you're looking for a dual sport engine that could probably survive a Mad Max reboot, the DR650 power plant is your ride or die, literally. Before we step into this engine that looks like it belongs in Mad Max, make sure you like and subscribe. But what if you want reliability with a touch of refinement? Something smooth like jazz, but still tougher than a $2 steak? Well, the next engine didn't just power bikes, it powered a whole lifestyle. 12th, Harley-Davidson Evolution Evo engine. Oh yes, you knew a Harley had to make this list. But not just any Harley engine. We're talking about the Evolution, baby. The 1,340 cubic centimeter Evo V-twin is what saved Harley-Davidson in the 80s and made it cool again. It's air-cooled, has that iconic 45-degree V-twin rumble, and best of all, it doesn't leak oil like the older shovelheads used to. Harley finally said, let's make an engine that doesn't mark its territory. And they did. The Evo is smooth, tough, and surprisingly low maintenance, especially for a Harley. People regularly clock over 200,000 miles on these engines with proper care. And unlike modern Harleys filled with sensors and software, this one keeps it old school. No fuel injection, early models, and part of its legendary status comes from owners who actually love working on it. Wrench, ride, repeat. So if you want a slice of American iron that actually lasts, the Evo's still got it. But now let's flip the script. What if I told you one of the most reliable engines ever made came from a bike that looks like it time-traveled from the future? Yeah, buckle up. 11. Honda ST1100 Pan-European V4 engine. This one's a sleeper hit. The Honda ST1100, aka the Pan-European, was built for high-speed touring across countries that actually have working roads. But beneath all that smooth bodywork is a 1,085 cubic centimeter V4 engine that might just be Honda's best-kept secret. It's liquid-cooled, shaft-driven, long-legged, and practically allergic to breakdowns. We're talking bikes with over 300,000 kilometers on the original engine. Mechanics love it because it rarely shows up in the shop unless it's for tires or an oil change. And while it may not have the cool factor of a Fireblade or Goldwing, it's the quiet, cardigan-wearing killer in the room. Reliable, efficient, and deceptively fast. Don't let the dad bike look fool you. The V4 in this thing is immortal. 10. Kawasaki KLR 650 engine. Now let's talk about the Swiss Army knife of motorcycle engines. The Kawasaki KLR 650's 651 cubic centimeter single-cylinder thumper is so simple it makes toast look complex. It's been around since 1987, and aside from a fuel injection upgrade in recent years, Kawasaki pretty much haven't changed anything about it. This engine is air and liquid cooled, ridiculously fuel efficient, and it doesn't care if you're crossing deserts or commuting to work. People have ridden these things through South America, the Arctic Circle, and probably the moon. And wait until you hear this. KLR riders have this wild tradition of measuring oil consumption in miles per quart. That's how far these bikes go before they even need topping up. Still running after crashes, floods, neglect, and owners who forgot what a service manual looks like. And it's not going away anytime soon. So far, we've had engines that thump, purr, and rumble their way into people's hearts. But what if I told you there's one engine that's not just reliable, it's criminally underrated? It doesn't cost much. It doesn't scream for attention. But under the radar, it's doing numbers that should honestly cost way more. That's not all. Coming up in number 9 is an engine that's one of the best bargains on two wheels right now. 9. Suzuki SV650V twin engine. The Suzuki SV650 is a modern classic. It has a 645 cubic centimeter, 90-degree V-twin engine that is one of the most respected middleweight engines ever made. But why is it special? First, that V-twin layout gives it a low center of gravity, which makes the bike feel stable and flickable in corners. This makes it perfect for new and experienced riders. Second, it's tuned for usable power. You get torque in the mid-range, where real-world riding actually happens. Third, its reliability is backed by real numbers. Riders report over 100,000 miles with no major engine work, just regular oil changes and valve checks every 15,000 miles. Forums, mechanics, and actual dealership service logs confirm this. The engine uses forged pistons and dual spark plugs per cylinder on newer models to optimize combustion and longevity. It's also liquid-cooled and fuel-injected, making it efficient and easy to maintain. And here's a fun fact. The SV650 engine has even been used in custom race builds, cafe racers, and supermoto conversions because it's that good. Cheap to buy, fun to ride, hard to kill, That's the SV650's entire personality. And now for the engine that toured 6 continents. 8. BMW R1150 Boxer Twin Engine. The BMW R1150's engine is a 1,130 cubic centimeter flat twin boxer, an air and oil-cooled masterpiece that powered bikes like the R1150GS and R1150RT. Launched in the early 2000s, this engine was built for serious riders, long-distance tourers, police departments, and globe-trotting adventurers. Its horizontal cylinder layout keeps the weight low, improving balance and stability, especially at low speeds or when cornering with luggage. It uses a shaft drive instead of a chain, cutting down on maintenance and mess. And with regular oil changes and valve adjustments, many riders have crossed 250,000 plus miles without a rebuild. The R1150 engine features a 6-speed gearbox, dual spark ignition in later models, and an impressive dry clutch that can outlast multiple tires if you treat it right. Mechanics love this engine because of its accessibility. The valve covers are right there. No fairings to remove, no fuss. It's overbuilt, understressed, and perfectly suited for the long game. Oh, and this was the engine that powered Ewan McGregor and Charlie Boorman's long way round journey around the world. You remember the TV documentary series filmed in 2004. The two actors, yes, Ewan McGregor from Star Wars, rode motorcycles from London to New York City the long way, traveling eastward across Europe, Central Asia, Siberia, Alaska, Canada, and finally the US. They covered over 19,000 plus miles in about 3 months through insane terrain, mud, snow, rivers, deserts, and places with absolutely no infrastructure. From the rugged roads of Mongolia to the brutal Siberian wilderness, they faced breakdowns, border drama, injuries, and freezing cold. So yeah, this engine has got a lot of credentials. But if you've gotten this far, we're almost at the top 5. Have you subscribed? If you haven't, do so now. Here comes number 7. Yamaha FJR 1300 inline-4 engine. If the motorcycle world had a James Bond, it would be powered by the Yamaha FJR 1300's engine. This 1,298 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled inline-4 is fast, refined, and classy. But underneath that gentlemanly exterior is a bare-knuckle fighter. First released in 2001, the FJR 1300's engine delivers around 145 horsepower and 138 Newton-meters of torque, launching this touring beast with surprising aggression. But what truly sets it apart is how effortlessly it does everything. Want to cruise across the country? No problem. Need to pass 5 trucks on a hill? Twist and go. Want to ride every day for 10 years without touching a wrench? This is your engine. The engine is fuel-injected, DOHC, and mated to a shaft drive, eliminating the mess and maintenance of chains. Its gearbox is bulletproof, and Yamaha even introduced a semi-automatic clutch version. Police forces in Europe, Australia, and the US rely on it for high-speed patrols, and many iron butt riders, those 1,000-mile-a-day maniacs, swear it's the only engine that doesn't make them cry afterward. It's not the flashiest, but it's dependable, long-legged, and sophisticated, hitting 300,000 plus kilometers with nothing more than routine oil and valve checks. But as good as the Yamaha was, there was something better. In 1999, Suzuki dropped a bomb on the motorcycle world. Yep, it was so fast. A gentleman's agreement was formed to limit future bikes to 186 miles per hour. What legend is this? Let's check it out. 6. Suzuki Hayabusa 1,340 cubic centimeter inline-4 engine. The Hayabusa is a legacy on 2 wheels. First unleashed in 1999, the Busa redefined what a production bike could be thanks to its 1,340 cubic centimeter DOHC inline-4 engine, a masterpiece of brutal power. Let's talk numbers. The current gen Hayabusa produces around 187 horsepower and 150 Newton-meters of torque, with a top speed electronically limited to 299 kilometers per hour, 186 miles per hour. But we all know the first gen models flirted with 320 kilometers per hour, 199 miles per hour before the gentleman's agreement kicked in. What makes the Hayabusa's engine special isn't just the raw output, it's the how. It has a low-down torque that pulls like a freight train, even from 2,000 RPM. A perfectly balanced inline-4 with dual balancer shafts, so it runs buttery smooth at insane speeds. A robust 4x2x1x2 exhaust system that sounds like a tiger purring at idle and howling at full tilt. Liquid-cooled with forged internals, built to take punishment without compromise. Owners routinely push past 200,000 kilometers with basic maintenance. Tuners build 300-plus horsepower Turbo Busa monsters on stock internals. Drag racers thrash them. Long-distance riders cross continents on them. Even crazier, this engine powers cars, boats, and custom builds because its strength and performance are that trusted. 3 generations in, and Suzuki hasn't messed with the core formula. Why? Because you don't fix what's already perfect. But what if I told you the most badass adventure bike on the planet isn't the loudest, the biggest, or the flashiest, but the one built to survive a war zone? It's the bike that people ride across continents, through deserts, jungles, and flooded trails. Let's dive into the engine that powered it. 5. Honda Africa, Twin CRF 1000L. Parallel twin engine. Some engines are born for the street. Others are born to eat dirt, drink bad fuel, and laugh in the face of deserts. Enter the Honda Africa Twin CRF 1000L, powered by a 998 cubic centimeter parallel twin that's one of the most trustworthy engines ever bolted into an adventure bike. Introduced in 2016, this engine was Honda's answer to riders who wanted long-distance comfort with off-road grit. It's liquid-cooled, has unicam heads, like their motocross bikes, and delivers around 94 horsepower with a fat torque curve that kicks in early. It is perfect for sand, trails, and technical climbs. This engine was designed to survive abuse. It handles low-quality fuel, thanks to a knock sensor, powers through water crossings, and shrugs off high mileage. It's even mated to Honda's optional DCT dual-clutch transmission. This is a tech marvel that shifts like a dream and makes riding feel like a sci-fi movie. The Africa Twin's engine has been battle-tested in Dakar-style terrain, ridden through the Outback, the Andes, and everywhere in between. Riders report 200,000-plus kilometers with 0 major repairs. If you want an engine that never complains, no matter how rough the road, this one's your loyal sidekick. But another Honda is just as good, if not better. In the mid-90s, it seems Honda wasn't playing around. In fact, they built this beast that was the fastest engine in the world at the time. That's our number 4. 4. Honda CBR 1100XX Super Blackbird Inline 4. The Honda CBR 1100XX Super Blackbird was once the fastest production motorcycle in the world for a while. But while everyone was obsessed with top speed, gearheads were quietly drooling over the real gem, its 1,137 cubic centimeter inline 4 engine. This liquid-cooled DOHC power plant pushes out 164 horsepower and can take the Blackbird to nearly 180 miles per hour. But it's not just speed, it's smooth as silk, bulletproof, and shockingly low maintenance for a superbike. Owners routinely cross 100,000 miles with nothing but routine oil changes and valve checks. No major engine failures. This is a bike you can redline all day and it'll just ask for more. Its dual balancer shafts kill vibrations, while PGM fuel injection ensures clean combustion. Even the gearbox is overbuilt. It shifts like a dream even after decades of use and abuse. Some even say this was Honda's last over-engineered sport bike, built during a golden age when engineers didn't care about cutting costs. The Super Blackbird might not chirp or pop or dance, but 3 words come to mind: forever, fast, flawless. But now strap in, because we're down to the final 3, the Holy Trinity. These engines are so tough, so iconic. They make wrenches weep with joy and outlive multiple owners. They've crossed continents, set records, and in some cases, changed the entire industry. The engines that sit at the peak of motorcycle reliability are revving up. 3. Suzuki Bandit 1200 Inline 4. If there's one engine that perfectly captures old-school cool with modern muscle, It's the Suzuki Bandit 1200's 1,157 cubic centimeter air, oil-cooled inline-4. Born from the mighty GSXR 1100 block, this engine was detuned for the street. It puts out about 100 to 115 horsepower, depending on the year, with torque for days and a delivery so linear it feels like an electric motor. There are no complex electronics, no gimmicks, just raw, muscular power that'll do quarter-mile pulls and cross-country trips in the same breath. The engine is superb with beefy internals, a rock-solid crankshaft, and oil cooling that keeps it happy even when you're thrashing it in 35 degrees Celsius heat. Mechanics love it, riders worship it, and on forums, it's legendary. There are bandits out there with 200,000 plus kilometers still pulling wheelies and hauling gear. It's also one of the most mod-friendly engines ever. Turbo it, tune it, abuse it, it won't flinch. Okay, so we've just talked about the Bandit 1200, but what if I told you there's an engine even more trusted, even more traveled, and, weirdly enough, used by the military? Yep, it's time for number 2. Coming up next is the legend of the long haul, the Desert King, the diesel adaptable dual sport that never calls in sick. Second Yamaha XT600 single cylinder. The Yamaha XT600 might just be the Chuck Norris of motorcycles. It is simple, rugged, and impossible to kill. Its 595 cubic centimeter air-cooled single-cylinder engine, introduced in the early 1980s, became the blueprint for the Go Anywhere bike. And boy, has it gone everywhere. Adventure riders swear by it. Humanitarian missions use it. Some militaries even adapted it because it could handle trash fuel and harsh terrain like it was a casual weekend ride. This engine is as low maintenance as it gets. No liquid cooling, no advanced tech, just a big piston, a carburetor, and an attitude problem. What makes it special? It's light and stupidly simple to repair. Need to clean the carb in the jungle? Easy. Need to adjust valves in the desert? 2 tools in 30 minutes? And reliability? Riders have crossed Africa, South America, and Siberia on it. There are XT600s with 150,000 plus miles, still running on the original bottom end. Some people even swap it into other frames just to keep the heart beating. It's a no-frills, one-cylinder workhorse that'll take you around the world and back again. And for our number 1, its launch was so secretive, Kawasaki had to build their own dyno just to test it. But the question is, what kind of engineering madness makes a motorcycle faster than a Bugatti Veyron? And what does it actually feel like to ride one? Let's open it up. 1. Kawasaki Ninja H 2/H2R Supercharged 998cc Inline 4, the apex predator of modern motorcycle engines. This isn't an ordinary engine. The 998 cubic centimeter supercharged inline 4 inside the Kawasaki Ninja H2 and H2R is, hands down, the most advanced, powerful, and outrageous production motorcycle engine ever made. The power is insane. The H2 pumps out around 228 horsepower. The track-only H2R gives a whooping 310 horsepower, or 326 horsepower with Ram Air. That's F1 car territory on 2 wheels. The secret sauce is a centrifugal supercharger designed in-house by Kawasaki Heavy Industries, not bought off a shelf. This supercharger spins at up to 130,000 RPM, force-feeding the engine with pressurized air for instant, monstrous acceleration. There is absolutely no lag. There is absolutely no mercy. It has a trellis frame developed using aerospace software. It has ultra-durable titanium intake valves and a carbon-coated intake system. Why it's number 1? The H2/H2R engine is incredibly well-balanced, surprisingly durable, and has been repeatedly used for top speed world records, hitting 400 plus kilometers per hour, 249 plus miles per hour in controlled runs. Despite the power, owners report the engine runs cool and reliably, even under repeated abuse. This engine is for rewriting physics. The H2/H2R's engine isn't just the best in the world right now. It's the benchmark for what's possible when a company decides to break all the rules. And it sits proudly at the top for a reason. No other production engine even comes close. Thank you for watching. Click this video to keep watching and find out more about motorcycles and subscribe to keep receiving amazing content.